Hello and welcome to Jules and Katie's Tapping Tips. My name's Katie Walker. I'm an advanced certified practitioner operating out of Perth, Western Australia, and also online. And I'm joined by my beautiful colleague and mate,
Jules, Vandermark here. I'm an advanced EFT practitioner from Coffs Harbour.
Thanks, Jules. So today I am going to take on the role as client and Jules the practitioner. And we're going to work on something in my life, which I have done a lot of tapping on, but was smacked in the face with it last night during a conversation I was having with my husband. So I guess what we want to be able to say to you is no matter how much work you are doing on a particular area in your life, and you may think that you've resolved it through tapping, sometimes there might be a little aspect that's left over. So it's just really important to be aware of that and to know that, you've got obviously tapping to be able to get through it. So before we go any further though, just to ensure washing hands during this time of COVID, if you're going to be touching your face, which Jules and I do, and also just taking full responsibility for yourself as we're tapping. So over to you, Jules.
Yeah, so do you want to tell us, Katie, a little bit about what you would like to tap on, like as an example today?
Yes, sure. So the area that I've done a lot of work on is to do with my dad, who's no longer with us. And one thing that we found out just before he died was that he was a gay man. And a lot of the work that I've had to do around that is just the sadness of not being able to fully appreciate him for who he was completely. And so last night it came up completely out of the blue because Greg and I were asking each other certain questions about different things, and one of the questions was, what are you most grateful for in your life? And I went back to just being grateful for my ex-husband, who was the one that kind of said, do you think your dad might be gay? And I'm like, I have no idea. And then I spent this period of time just before he passed away trying to find out if he was or not, and not able to ask him directly. So just and then I started to just bawl my eyes out last night, just thinking about the sadness around not really knowing Dad or being able to fully appreciate him. Yeah.
All right, so just thinking about that now, what's the emotion?
Well, the particular thing that came up, because as I said, I have done a lot of tapping, was the probably 3 or 4 days just before he died, I was with who I didn't know I had suspected was his partner. And I just said, I think I'm going to learn a lot about my dad when he passes. And he said to me, well, what would you like to know now? And I said, is my dad gay? And he said, yeah, and I've been with him for 7 years.
Right.
And I just thought, I didn't think, I just burst into tears at that time, which was, 12 years ago, 13 years ago. But thinking about that now, I still feel, there's regret. There's regret there. Regret.
Yeah. Okay. So 0 to 10 on regret just now.
8.
Yep. And what's the regret about?
It's really about not being able to have that conversation with my dad and just directly saying, I know you're gay and I love you.
Yeah.
I know you and be with you for who you are.
Yeah. And what was the name of your dad's partner?
Patrick.
Yeah. And you're feeling this in your body anywhere, Katie?
I'm feeling it in my chest.
Okay. So let's get started. Even though I'm feeling this regret.
8
out of 10.
8 out of 10.
Thinking how I was able to ask Patrick.
Thinking about how I was able to ask Patrick.
Is my dad gay?
Is my dad gay?
But I wasn't able to ask my dad himself. And I'm feeling this, what'd you say, feeling it? In my chest.
I feel the regret in my chest.
But I accept myself and how I feel. Even though I feel this regret. Remembering I was able to ask Patrick directly. Was my dad gay? But I regret I wasn't able to have that conversation. Actually with my dad. And I'm feeling this in my chest.
And I'm feeling this regret in my chest.
But I accept myself and all these feelings.
But I accept myself and all these feelings.
Even though I'm feeling this regret.
Even though I'm feeling this regret.
Thinking about how I asked Patrick.
Thinking about how I asked Patrick.
Was Dad gay?
Was Dad gay?
But I couldn't have that conversation with Dad himself.
I couldn't have that conversation with Dad himself.
And I feel this regret in my chest.
And I feel this regret in my chest.
But I accept myself and all these feelings.
But I accept myself and all these feelings.
Tapping on the top of the head, this regret.
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 Remembering having the conversation with Patrick.
Remembering having the conversation with Patrick.
He said, what do you want to know about your dad?
He said, what do you want to know about your dad?
And I said, is Dad gay?
Gay.
And he said, yes, he is.
He said, yes, he is.
And I just noticed this regret now.
I've noticed this regret.
Because I wasn't able to speak to Dad about that directly.
Because I wasn't able to speak to Dad about that directly.
Feeling this regret in my chest.
Feeling this regret in my chest.
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 That I couldn't have that important conversation with Dad.
That I couldn't have this important conversation with Dad.
This regret in my chest.
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 Okay, let's just come back to the side of the hand.
The regrets.
Check in.
Gone down so much.
Yeah.
And as much as I would have loved to have just enjoyed Dad's happiness with being gay and being with Patrick, I actually had got to a point, and still am, just respect the fact that Dad just didn't feel comfortable with the world knowing, and that was his choice.
Okay.
So I think, the regret, I'd have to question what would I have achieved by even asking him that, really, because he's so close to passing away.
Yeah, okay. So 0 to 10 on regret just now.
I'm going to say 2, Jules.
Okay. Do you want to do another couple of rounds?
I can do it quietly by myself, I think. Yeah, and I feel it's a good spot to end.
Okay, sure. How's the feeling in your chest?
Yeah, it's much, much lower. Much lower, for sure.
I heard you sort of go, that's
always a good sign.
Notice that people do a lot of sighing and kind of like, yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. And I guess for anyone who's watching, just to also get some benefit out of what we just did, perhaps rewind and use that tap along with us, identifying something that might be causing them some bothersome or frustration or annoyance, and reap the benefits from what we call borrowed benefits.
Great. Okay. Thanks.
Thanks,
Katie.
Jules. See you. Bye.